Hey, everybody, your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen, with a phenomenal podcast for you today. I am super excited about this one. Fish for life. Big deal. Big deal. You guys, this is going to touch your hearts, this show today. And we're going to be bringing on my sister and Jim Holden, the president of Fish for Life. And we're going to talk all about this great organization and all the phenomenal things that they have done for these special needs children. And this has got no stopping. It's a year-round type of deal, and we're going to talk all about it. So let's check out a real quick video here, show you what we're talking about, and we'll get into this whole show. It's going to be phenomenal. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this. Here we go.
Fish for Life started 11 years ago out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing in Dana Point. It's a nonprofit organization that takes out special needs children fishing with Jim Holden, who is the president of Fish for Life.
The model for these trips is the same every trip. 30 special needs kids, a whole variety of different conditions, 30 chaperones, and 40 volunteers. And among the volunteers, we have non-special needs kids, we've had foster kids, we've had wounded warriors.
Anybody can go fishing, and these children are a testament to that. Just to take a break and go fishing on the ocean is something that is kind of lacking in our society. Like, take a break, get off your cell phone, get on the boat. Hopefully they will gain a knowledge that will last with them for a lifetime. For that moment, these kids are just like anybody else. They're just out here fishing, having a great day.
I think the lessons that you learn from fishing, patience. Just trying to sit back and allow yourself to let things happen. As we all know in life, when you try to force things and you try to make stuff happen, it seldom happens. And it's the same with fishing. If you get stressed out, it's almost like the fish can sense it. They're not going to bite on that line. If you're not handling yourself and sending, I think, the right positive energy, I think you learn that lesson of patience. I think you learn the lesson of how important it is to try and do it the right way. And that applies to life, in every part of your life, if you really think about it.
From 2006 to 2009, I was in that period of life where I was praying to God as far as, what's my purpose? How can I serve? What do you want me to do, Father? And during those years, I was taking a friend of mine's son out to lunch. His name is Jeffrey. He's got cerebral palsy. In January of 2009, I said, Jeffrey, let's go do something. What would you like to go do? And he just lit up and said, I'd love to go fishing. I was so overwhelmed with the clarity of such a calling being revealed. The message was loud and clear, take a boatload. And that was the inception of Fish for Life. A Fish for Life trip is just so therapeutic. Everybody on the boat benefits. The kids, the chaperones, the volunteers, and it is all about love. Our motto is we're spreading the love one boat at a time, and these kids feel it. At the end of the day, everybody gets off with such a deep sense of gratitude, and that's our mission, is to really inspire that and also inspire others to serve. You know, fishing happens to be my thing.
I mean, the whole program of whatever you do in life, if you're not spreading the love one person at a time, you probably aren't achieving the mission of life. They are the epitome of an organization that we should all look up to.
All right, Elliot, without further ado, let's bring in Donna and Jim, and let's get down. Let's talk. Thank you guys so much for being a part of my show today. I am so excited. I've been looking forward to this show for a very long time. We'll get to you in a little bit, Donna, but let's start out with Jim. Jim, I think you did find your calling. There's nothing more special. I'm trying to hold back the tears. I'm a very emotional human being. Watching that video brings it all right to your heart. It brings it all right in, and it lets everybody know that what you're doing is a phenomenal thing. And I am so glad that you embraced my father and went to him with this idea, and that he grabbed that ball and ran with it, and he handed it off to probably one of the best people that could possibly involve with this whole organization, my sister. Between you and her, you've taken this thing to levels that most people can't even describe. So Jim, talk a little bit more about how you got into this and how this all came to be, and really talk about my pops.
You bet. Well, it per the video explained, the calling, but I first contacted your dad, Captain Don Hansen, in 2009, explained the vision as to what we wanted to do. And he was just in no hesitation, all in. How can we help? Let's schedule a trip. He then referred me to Donna, who I've been dealing with for now 14 years, and it's just been a tremendous success. The Dana Pride is just a perfect boat for this. It's our mothership, but we have also since expanded. We've had trips in San Diego, Ensenada, Long Beach, and then we opened up 3 years ago a chapter in southern New Jersey, Wildwood Crest down near Cape May. And then next year, we're going to expand to Santa Barbara with Jamie Dimon up there, and then Florida. So there's no reason why this can't be in ocean-bearing ports anywhere in the world. And for anyone listening, this appeals to you, and you have the skill set to organize trips, fundraise, get in touch. Would love to talk to you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that it's not just Dana Point. It's San Diego. Now you're going to go up and see Jamie Dimon. You got stuff going on all over the place, and it just all from having lunch with that young man. How cool is that? What a
Oh, you bet. And Dave, the model has evolved over the years too. We're like little kids coming up with all kinds of ideas to, entertain these kids and everybody, and they're just so much fun. But the magic is in the details. There's tremendous amount of details to make this just such a therapeutical, impactful experience of a lifetime. I'll briefly explain like our current model, and to begin with, all trips are free, doesn't cost anyone anything. Families arrive, we have like 30 kids, mixed conditions, and we've had them all, ages 8 to 21. A lot of autistic kids. So autism is it's an epidemic. It's just crazy how many, the percentage of kids being born now with autism. But anyhow, all conditions are welcome. 30 kids, 30 chaperones, and then 40 volunteers. They check in at 8 o'clock. Everybody gets cool Fish for Life t-shirts. Once everyone's checked in, then we have the opening ceremony. We'll have speakers say a few words. We'll have someone say a prayer. We'll have usually a child sing the national anthem, and then we roll the red carpet down to honor our guests and introduce them individually. And they're just adorable. And these are all, created prior to a trip. And it's just cute as a bug, some of the things they want said about them. Favorite interests, hobbies, sports, something funny. Anyhow, they come down the carpet and then board the boat. We take a big group shot. We shove off to the theme song of the Pirates of the Caribbean, go over to the bait barge, load up on bait, and then we get a fireboat escort out of the harbor. As we're leaving, we start flying kites off the stern. We go in Dana Point. We'll just go around the corner to Salt Creek and anchor there. It's about education too. Carrie Wilson with Fish and Wildlife has just been tremendous supporter. Fish and Wildlife as a whole. Just tremendous support from an educational standpoint. We'll educate the kids difference between like seals, sea lions, stop at the buoy. And then we go around and we anchor. We fish, but then there's tons of entertainment. We've had band on boards. Probably a highlight is we'll have the kids do a line dance around the boat 3 times. They end up on the stern where we teach them the Fish for Life dance. They can all do, even kids in wheelchairs. But we do that to keep their attention, because then a friend comes around the bow of the private boat, drops off a couple divers, 1 or 2 divers, and then a mermaid. And we stage that for like the kids that still believe in Santa Claus, like, where'd you come from? And she'll say, oh, I was just going up to Newport, wanted to stop and say hi, and she does her thing. And then the diver pops up, like, where'd you come from? Oh, I was just lobster diving. Saw this beautiful mermaid. So they do their thing. And then we'll say, all right, well, hey, would you do us a favor? Will you go back to the dock, so the kids, when we get back, can take pictures with you? Sure. All right, go. Or wait a sec, we'll see if we can't get you a ride. And then we'll yell out to my buddy, hey, buddy, will you do us a favor? And they load her up and off she goes, okay? And then On the way back too, we create teams, and we'll have the fishing team leaders then present a medallion to each child they spent the day with, talk about what they caught, their effort, so on and so forth. And then we give the child an opportunity to express himself. And if that isn't adorable, some of the things that come out of their mouth, but the gratitude is just off the charts. It's so cool. And then we head back into the dock. And as you can see on the video there, as we're docking, we'll say, oh my gosh, we got a problem. Pirates tied up the mermaid. So we give out the water guns to all the kids and they blast the pirate. Okay. And that's kind of designed too as a lesson not to bully. We'll have a volunteer. We have a board member, a little man. He'll get off the boat, confront the pirates, say, what are you doing? This is all about kindness, love, shame on you. And ends with them saying, we're sorry, please forgive us, as they're getting blasted.
Oh my gosh, how exciting, how spectacular. There's so much stuff going on behind the scenes that I don't even know about, because I see it when you're announcing their names and they're coming onto the boat.
Right.
And there's nothing better than that. That is like the most heart-touching thing, and watching those children light up when their name's called and you give that little background that they wanted you to give about them. That is, when my sister brought me down and showed me that, I was hooked, Jim. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it.
And Dave, we've had therapists on board too. I mean, I'm not a therapist, and to educate us post-trip, and talk about, hey, are we missing any opportunities? Is there anything we're doing we shouldn't be doing? Like loud music for lower function autistic kids doesn't work, But even the red carpet, we'll bring down like a couple down kids first, just so the autistic kids can process what's going on. It's like, oh, fun, happy, love. Yeah, I can do this, So there's a multitude of little details that we do to just cater to their needs.
That is incredible. So Donna, how do children get involved in this? How do you get to the point where you're going to get to be invited? Jim's going to let you bring your child on one of Dana Wharf boats or one of the boats, Jamie Diamond's boats. How do we get that going?
Oh my gosh. Well, Jim is, as you can tell, so amazing. And people go on the website and they email him and they say, I would love to bring my child with you. And he responds to every single one of those requests. He puts people on a wait list. As you can tell, like, Jim Holden is the real deal. We just love Jim. It's been a pleasure to work with him. And he's so, I don't even know. He's just like, his love just spreads all over the place. Everywhere I go, people just want to be involved with Fish for Life. They want to bring their kids out, or they want to volunteer. I mean, he even has a wait list for people volunteering. It's hard to get on the boat to volunteer because we have so many people. It's just been tremendous. And I love the trips. I love to go on them. I love to meet all the people and the volunteers and the kids. Wow. They just touch your heart.
Speaking of that, Elliot, can we show that my sister's favorite?
Oh my gosh.
Moment? Because then her and I are going to start crying.
So this is Jackie, and she was a first-time fisher girl, and she's a princess, and she caught her first fish. And this is the emotion from a child catching their first fish. So you talk about this all the time, Dave, about how you want to take kids out and catch their first fish. But watch this.
Yay, Jackie! You just good job, Jackie.
Yeah, that cuts deep. That's spectacular, and that's what we talk about all the time on the podcast, is taking children fishing and then taking it to a whole different level. Jim and Donna, you guys have taken this thing to a level that I can't even comprehend. I'm so glad that you decided to come on the show and talk about this, because I think this is something that can expand and will expand with the knowledge that you guys are bringing to everybody on here, especially just the part about not knowing that this even exists. There's so many people in Dana Point, San Diego, that don't even know this exists, that they're getting awareness right now. And Jim, I love the story how you talked about when you brought this to my father and how he was in 100%.
Well, I tell
And
you
he,
what, Dave. I mean, he saw the value in this. I mean, no hesitation. And I mean, I don't have to tell you, he has such a heart for helping others. And the support has just been phenomenal from the Dana Wharf. Hey, and I tell you what, too. I mean, we all have, neat childhood fishing stories. I mean, catching your first fish and all. But I'll tell you what, this is just extra special for these families. I've talked to, I mean, so many parents over the years that by and large they'll tend to feel like outcasts of society and avoid doing such things as normal as like fishing due to the conditions of their child. And I'll tell you what, we've had so many examples of them then going on a trip and saying, yeah, we can do this, and show them. And then, I mean, but then again, just tailoring to all their needs. It is just, they are so grateful for this. And I'll tell you, we've got the kid. Once they come on board with these fishing team leaders that we have, and we create the teams and all, the joy for these parents just to see their kid just having the time of their life. And like that little video with Jackie, I mean, oh, it's just because there's no pretensions. I mean, they are just as real as the day is long. And that first fish caught is just, oh, it's just adorable. It is really cool. And then we'll also do some pairing I've seen some really neat results with like the Down syndrome kids, because they are just love bugs. I mean, they're huggers. They're so sweet. And autistic kids. So we'll have some like lower function autistic kids, and even details like when they're coming down the red carpet, for example, we alert the volunteers to, hey, in a lot of cases, they don't really want to be touched. You have to really earn their trust to get inside that bubble. But as they're coming down our carpet, we reach out, give them a high five. But if they don't want to be a high five, you just wave them on and clap. But on the boat, I've seen some cool things with pairing on the teams, because we'll have like a fishing team leader responsible for 2 kids and their chaperones. But you compare like a Down syndrome child with an autistic child. And I really believe the autistic kids sense the purity and innocence of the Down kids. And when that fish comes on board and they get all excited and they'll go up and hug the kid, it's just cool to see the reaction from the autistic kids, And I've heard from parents as far as the transformation they've seen for that day when they first arrived to, them, baby steps, towards the end of the day, just coming out of their shell. It's a beautiful thing. And then another thing we do too, it was in the video there in the very beginning, we have a Calvary team. So years ago, I was fishing one morning, I turn around and on the dock, I see these little miniature horses. And it was just so out of context. I went up and talked to him. His name is Felipe Engel. And they're therapy horses. So for years now, he brings those down at the check-in area. And that's a cool thing too, because some of these kids are coming across that parking lot with anxieties we just can't relate to, but they see these little horses and it's a real calming effect. It's really cool, So yeah, there's a lot of details, but again, the impact is just such a neat thing to see. And then in addition to the kids and their chaperones, that volunteer base, we use that as a way to minister other kids as well, like non-special needs kids. What a great life lesson for them to be exposed to a variety of conditions, and break down stigmas about special needs kids, and just realize these kids just want to be loved. They want to be approached, And then wounded warriors. We've had wounded warriors on board. What great therapy for them as well. So I could go on and on.
Right. No, that's what we talk about, and what I preach on my show every day is how fishing changes people's lives. And these children, it's totally up 100% changed their lives. And like you've heard from their parents, they came out of their shell when they went out fishing. That's why it is so important. We talk about this all the time on our show. And I know my sister works very, very hard to keep fishing open for all of us. These children's lives have changed dramatically by the love that you've given them, Jim, and taking them out on the boat and showing them how important it is to catch your first fish, what a life-changing event that is. I want everybody that's watching this right now to do me a massive favor. Right below your screen while you're watching it, there's a little button there, the share button. It's very easy. Hit the share button, because I don't know your friends, but I guarantee you your friends are going to want to watch this. And it's hard to describe this to them, but if you just hit the share button, all your friends across all social media are going to get to see this. And then I want to talk to Donna about how important this is to share this, because of you now, and because of the love and opening the doors at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing and allow this to happen, and donating the boat and donating all the time from the crew and the deckhands and all the things that go on behind the scenes that people don't know. Now you have San Diego landing involved. You got Jamie Dimon up there involved. And it's all because they're seeing the love that Dana Wharf's given to these children. And it's opening up doors like you can't even believe, gang. So do us a favor. There's a lot of people that are watching this show because Donna's on here today, because Jim's on it. I get a different audience that I've never had before. And I would just hope and pray that you all share this. We do this podcast 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We're totally open awareness of how important fishing is. And there's no way to tell you how important it is without talking about Fish for Life, right? I mean, it's incredible, right?
Yeah,
Donna?
we talk about it a lot. I think that a lot of people ask me, well, how did Jim Holden get started? And I'm all, well, he had a wonderful idea, and a lot of people have wonderful ideas. And so when, you know, my dad called me and said, hey, you got to meet with Jim Holden. He has this wonderful idea about taking kids fishing. And at first I was like, well, we already take kids fishing. Like, we do that. And then I sat down with him, and he had this whole plan written out of like how he wants to take kids fishing, and it's different than anything that you have experienced. And we tell everyone, like, come down and experience it. And Jim's on every single trip, and I promise you that every trip is better than the last one. And the parents get to come on the trip with their child, and it's like something they've never experienced, because they wouldn't get to go on a fishing trip. They wouldn't get to go on an open party trip with their child, because they're scared of what might happen, or if their child is looked at strangely, or, you know, it's just a total safe space. And Jim makes it so great. And these trips are just one of a kind. So I invite everyone always to come down and watch and be a part of it, because it is making a huge difference. And Jim, you know, you're making a huge difference, and he's the real deal. And that's what I tell everybody. So it's not just that he had an idea, but he executed it. He came on all the trips, and he's at all the fundraisers. We have, you know, a Texas Hold'em tournament. The city of Dana Point saw what he was doing, and they supported his chowder cook-off. I mean, it's just year-round fun Fish for Life.
You bet. And then for anyone watching, if you're close to Dana Point, this Sunday, the Dana Wharf is sponsoring a trip.
Yeah.
So come down to the Dana Wharf and be there by 9 o'clock. And then on the screen right there is our, we have an annual Texas Hold'em tournament that's a lot of fun. This is last year's flyer. But to give you an example of what we do, we'll have a bunch of NFL and baseball guys and celebrities with bounties on their heads. And so we have like an NFL or a celebrity or a baseball guy at every table. And what that means with the bounty is if you knock them out, they have to get up, take the walk of shame, go get a hat for the team they played with, come back and sign it and get a photo op. But at that event, we begin with rolling out the red carpet like we do before the trips. We introduce all the ball players first, and then they're the greeting committee for like a dozen or so kids that have been on trips that come down the carpet. And then Daiwa has been a big supporter too. They'll give them all like a rod and reel. So that's a big event. And Donna, thank you, because you're the one that inspired the clam chowder cook-off first weekend in March. You know,
during the Festival of Whales.
Yeah, you know, and that's evolved, you know, and it's just all good. And then beyond that, we're to expand this and provide more trips to take more kids out in Dana and other locations. It's all about fundraising, and I'm now doing this full time and pursuing like major foundations for grants and or big companies. So if you're involved with a foundation or a big company that would be interested in being a sponsor, well, I'd sure like to talk to you.
And that's another thing I was talking about a few minutes ago about sharing this, gang. I'm talking about sharing this on your social media platform. Those of you watching on YouTube and those of you watching on Facebook, because you all know we go live on Facebook and YouTube Monday through Friday. But this is something that should go viral. This is something that needs to go viral. And the only way we can make it go viral, gang, is if you all share. So you just heard what Jim said. This doesn't happen magically. This happens because there's hard work behind the scenes, fundraising, fundraising, fundraising. There are so many good things that come from this.
And Dave, and good leadership too. An example as far as expansion. In 2011, we had a young Marine. He was an officer in the Marines. His name's Jesse Gamberling Johnson. He went on a trip in 2011. Well, in January of 2020, he gives me a call. Hey, Jim, it's Jesse. Remember me? Well, he's been noodling on this for years. And the purpose for his call was, I'm out of the Marines. He graduated from University of Pennsylvania. He's just a brilliant guy with a tremendous skill set and a driven like you just wouldn't believe. He is now the executive director for our trips out of Wildwood Crest. And so we're looking for that to expand this, to get the people that number one are going to do this for all the right reasons and can put it together.
That is insane. And thank you for letting my platform be a part of hopefully expanding this to the places. I mean, we have people watching in Australia. We have lots of people down there in Florida. We have lots of people watching in Texas. And you guys can all be a part of this. You can all reach out to Jim. You can, the QR code that Elliot keeps flashing up on the screen, that gets you direct contact with Jim. You can get involved with this at any level. Any level is going to be a good level, whatever level you decide to get involved with. But hey, if you have a boat, if you have an opportunity to take these children out on a boat, you can talk to Jim, make sure that it's the right fit. He wants to make sure that you fit the criteria or what we're talking about. But it's all about giving back, which is probably the number one thing that our Father taught us is we were blessed with a phenomenal Father that taught us how to give back to the community and give back to people that need to be given back to. And I can't think of a better organization than Fish for Life. And then on top of that, taking kids fishing. This is it, right, Donna?
It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and Dave, and go ahead, Donna. Sorry.
Talk about, like Dave brought it up, talk about like how somebody, they want to bring their child on the trip.
Yeah.
Talk about what the outreach is for that. You
bet. It's real simple. You just go on the website and it'll say chapter locations. You go to either right now, that is Dana Wharf, San Diego, or New Jersey. There's a drop down to register your child. We ask for your information, child's name, condition, age, and then a little bio for the red carpet. And that's it. You just submit that and we'll have a drop. All the trips are full for this year. But then right now you can get on a standby list for next year, as well as volunteers. There's a get involved tab. You just click on that and either get in touch. You want to get a chapter going in your area, or you want to volunteer as a fishing team leader or one of the roles on the boat. You just do the same thing and we put you on a standby list. And I'll tell you what, we have the biggest dilemma, and it's a beautiful dilemma to have. There's more people that want to go on these trips than we have trips. Okay, so we need to have more trips, period.
And that's what we're talking about here today, gang. That's why it was so important when Donna reached out and said that, hey, can we come on your show and talk about this? Absolutely. We have a phenomenal audience, but here's the deal, gang. Because Donna's here, we've just opened this thing up and we have a lot of landings watching this. Listen, gang, like Jim Holden just said, we need more boats. We need more people involved. You need to be involved in Florida. You guys got head boats. You guys call them head boats down there. Out here on the West Coast, we call them sport fishing boats. But those boats there should be no child left on the dock. This should be happening at every landing up and down the coast. We should run, Jim, we should be now with this exposure. We should be overwhelmed by the amount of love that's going to come from all this and all the different boat owners and landing owners and people across the United States that watch this show. And once again, gang, I cannot reiterate the fact enough that you need to share this, because you don't know. There's a family out there that needs to see this. There's a family out there that needs this, because Jim, you and I talked about this before we went live, and Donna, you guys have talked to us. You're not just taking these kids and going, hey, we're going to throw them out on a boat. You guys have done all the research. You've talked to psychiatrists. You've talked to psychologists. You're taking a real good, hard look at this and understanding. We're not just taking your child out on the boat. You're coming with them. This is going to bring a whole new awareness to these children that most of them, let's be honest, they're scared, really scared. Their parents are scared because of the way that they've been treated in public. That none of this happens, like Donna says. This is a safe.
They're not scared on our trips because we love them to pieces.
They have the best time
and
ever.
they know it. You bet.
But Donna, you hear people tell you all the time, you think it's going to be okay?
Yeah, and I've talked to a lot of the parents, and they're like, we would not have ever taken our child fishing. We just didn't think they don't think they can do it. And Jim can attest, those little kids are very competitive. They catch so many fish, and it's so fun to watch them. And the Fish and Wildlife gives them a passport book, and they sign it, and it's like a trophy for them. They're so excited. But yes, many of the parents say, we would never do this if it wasn't for Jim Holden, because we just don't think that our child could do it.
Well, and thank you, but it is a team effort.
Right.
Our core team and all the volunteers, they're just, they've got the right hearts and doing this for all the right reasons.
Yeah, there's a volunteer that you keep showing, Tony G. He comes on all of our trips, and he's an excellent fisherman. And man, he just loves to catch fish and help those kids learn how to catch fish.
That's Tony G. Tony G Fishing.
Tony G.
He is a great human being. Him and his wife give back like you can't even give back.
And these types of programs, and we're just one spoke in the wheel. So many noble causes out there, but I'll tell you what, it is a magnet for the most loving, neatest people.
I think you've done one of the most incredible things from a calling. 2009, you put this thing together, Jim, out of nowhere, and look at this. Look at where it's gone, and now with coming on the show and touching all these people, because there was no way for you guys to get the word out except for print ads and stuff like that. And now this is going to spread like wildfire if all of our viewers hit that share button. You don't understand. I'm not trying to get your views. I'm trying to get this awareness spread out across the United States. That's what this is about, gang. It's about sharing this. And if you haven't hit the share button yet, gang, it's free. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to cause any damage. And I guarantee you're going to touch someone else's life. Somebody's child needs to come fish Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. Comes out and do this Fish for Life thing. Donna, I know how much this means to you, and I know how it touches you. And that video with Jackie is probably your very most favorite.
There's a million of them, but yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And everyone, remember, come Sunday, if you're near Dana Point, come. Be there before 9:00.
I would say that we didn't really talk about it, but our crews, like Captain Tommy White, he runs almost every single one of them, and he is so touched, and he has great relationships with the kids, and he cries, and his crew all loves it. It's just a miracle. So wonderful.
Yep, it's an absolute miracle. When you come down there, if you guys can make it on Sunday and see what's going on, then you'll really see the power of this. And I know I talked about it a little bit before, but I think one of the most powerful things, Jim, is when that red carpet gets rolled out and that speaker comes alive and you announce. I don't think we emphasized it enough, gang. These children and their parents put down some special little things in these children's lives on on the card, and they're read out as they walk down that red carpet. Oh, it is absolutely insane. The feeling that goes through your heart, it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up when you see that joy. When you see him walk down that red carpet, that one young man doing cartwheels, it is an incredible feeling, right?
Hey, it's a great way to honor them and their chaperones, their parents, their loving parents.
Oh yeah, none of this would happen without the parents. That's for dang sure. And then, like Donna said, to give their parents a safe place to take these children, that is an incredible. That is just an incredible thing, and it will touch everybody out there that's sitting here watching and going, I don't know how I can give. You can. Everybody knows somebody. You just share this, and you'll be blown away at how this is going to touch so many people. And
I tell you, Dave, too, and get going with all this crazy things going on in our world today. And, hey, just to give these families and everyone involved, hey, a day just filled with love and great experience. I mean, isn't that what we should all be doing, is just really looking out and caring for each other?
absolutely. And it gives them a safe place. That's the key. Donna, when Donna said that, I latched onto that. It's giving these children a safe and their parents. Because this is hard on the family. To give the parents a safe place to take their child. There's not a lot of those places left on the planet Earth. So this is a very, very safe place to bring your children and come. And please try to get involved with any way you can. Like Jim and Donna both said, they're overwhelmed by the amount of volunteers, but that doesn't mean don't volunteer. That does not mean we got enough. We've never had enough of anything. So,
Yeah.
Donna, what do you think would be the most important thing to let these landings? Because there's a lot of people that have landings that are watching this show. What would you think the most important thing that you got out of this by allowing them to use the Dana Pride? And what do you get? How does your heart feel?
I'm just very proud to have it in Dana Point. I love to have like our crew. It's so like when you talk about the red carpet, people come out of their businesses, like everyone knows where Turks is, right? But those people come out of Turks and they stand there and they watch, and everyone that's around us comes and watches the ceremony. If you have a way to be involved, you should definitely call Jim Holden. He's making a difference, and we would love to have more trips all over Southern California and expand it. So if you think that you can help us, just reach out to us. And I tell you to come down and just experience. A lot of people say, I can't go on the trip. And we're not really asking you to come on the trip. We're asking you to just come down, maybe witness a trip, see the red carpet, because the red carpet really catches your heart. And Jim's had so many people just come down to watch the red carpet, and then from that moment on, they're hooked and they want to be involved.
And if anybody's in a position to expand it to your area, I'll be happy to walk you through from soup to nuts, all the details. And what we have done and we will do for new locations is bring a core task team up to help out with the first, trip and gather your teacher volunteers and whatnot. It's a cool thing. But look for people that, again, they're going to, hey, your heart's into it. Because I've talked to different landing owners and and I get it, man, it's a tough business and all that, but whoa, if you don't have that awe or, we're looking for the right reaction of people.
There's Melody. So that's one of our, what would you call your kids, Jim, that your ambassadors? This is Melody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's Melody. Yep. Yeah. We have, we'll have a couple core kids like Gabe, Down syndrome boy. He comes on every trip. I mean, we bring new kids on every trip, but there's just a few that are now like part of the crew. And Gabe is just doggone right.
He's the second captain.
He goes up to the bow and he does the Titanic, I whistle the Titanic theme song.
He's right there. Yeah.
He does. Gabe. That's Gabe. Okay. And it's just a real joy, And
Dave, he wants Captain Tommy's job, so he's the second captain.
He's the second captain. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll tell you.
How? Oh my God, that is just puts chills on my
Yeah.
down my spine.
And
It
you
just
know, and we could talk to it till the cows come home, but I mean, to
Right.
experience a trip, you know, and see the value in what it is that this does for these families, it's just it's an incredible memory and such an impact, you know. So that's our vision now, is to get this going in ports all over the place.
Yeah, and of course,
so
if you can afford it, donate money to Fish for Life, because these trips are not free. He does have a lot of expenses, and so if you can, donate to our cause.
and what a great cause to donate to.
And
So let's
And
go.
Dave, get a load of this. In fact, I leave Monday for Florida. I've been meeting with a great group. It's called the International Seakeeper Society. They're all about ocean conservation, science research, and it really it's a good value for us as far as education for just ocean conservation, don't litter, so on and so forth. And it's a great benefit for them too, to help support their cause and what they're trying to do. And so going there to meet with, they have a 25th anniversary dinner. This was founded by Paul Allen in Monaco 25 years ago. And so their headquarters is in Coral Gable. We're going to have our first trip in Florida next year in January, but then they're global. They have, locations in Monaco, Singapore, New Zealand, UK, and working on South America. And they want Fish for Life trips in those locations as well. So, we don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future, right? And I think he really likes this program.
Our children. So so you guys were talking, it's going to happen this Sunday. Donna, why don't you give us a real quick look, and maybe Jim's better at it. I don't know. What's going to happen? We show up on Sunday. What time should we get down there? When's the festivities start? We want to see every part. We want to see the kids walk through the parking lot. We want to see them walk up to the horses. We want to see everything. What time does this shindig start on Sunday?
The volunteers start rolling in around 7:30. 8 o'clock is when the families start checking in. So they check in. They have to, check their kid in. We have a liability release form they have to submit. Once that's completed, then they all get T-shirts. So we fit them for T-shirts. We have the cavalry team showing up just before that, and they'll just be meandering around. And then once everyone's checked in, we usually get going right around 9 o'clock. So you want to be there. If you want to see the whole thing, come by 8. But be there for sure by 9, because that's when we start off with the opening ceremonies. Begin by thanking our sponsors, just go over a couple safety features. Lunch. I didn't mention lunch. These trips.
Or breakfast. You didn't mention breakfast. Like you pass out bagels.
Yeah, we pass around appetizers before. It's a check-in area, and before and after a real nice buffet style lunch. These trips, it's typically not a hot dog, a Coke, and a bag of chips. At the Dana Wharf, what we'll do is we'll have a nice local restaurants contributing different things. We don't put the burden on any one place, but we'll have sandwiches, we'll have pasta and meatballs, shrimp, fruit, a whole variety of things for them to have. Okay. But anyhow, so the opening ceremonies will start right by 9 o'clock. So you want to be there for that. We'll have the speakers this Sunday. We have Donna. We'll lead off with Donna, and then Captain Tommy.
Come listen to me speak more.
Carrie Wilson will be there.
From the Fish and Wildlife.
And like Donna explained, she has this passport program that is so cool. It's a little book with all the different California species of fish. And she walks around as kids are catching fish. They can stamp that page. They really get a kick out of that. And then we have also Mayor Mike Frost with Dana Point coming. And then our last speaker will be Kyle Pasek. So he's a board member, and he's an actor. He's doing Star Wars, and he's a lot of fun. We do a little skit there, so I'm not going to even share what that is. You have to come down and see it.
I know you gave a lot of your secrets up, Jim.
Okay, yeah. Well, we haven't told him a couple other things, but anyhow. And then after that, then we'll have Dave Shahoyan. He's a board member. He'll lead us in prayer, because it is all about love, and at the end of the day, there's only one way to serve God, and that's to serve others. Okay. And I'm not a pastor and we're not a church, but I'll tell you what, it is all about love in action, God's love in action. After the prayer, then Taylor Peterson will sing the national anthem. And then right after that, we roll down the red carpet, down the gangway, and we start introducing the kids. And it'll start off with the youngest to the oldest. That's it. And then we board the boat, take that group shot, shove off to the theme song of the Pirates Game. Pirates Caribbean, and off we go.
And we go get live bait from the bait barge, and then the harbor patrol leads us out. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just going to the bait barge and watching them load the bait, that's going to be a spectacular event for these children. Everything matters.
Donna, Dave, I'll tell you what, every part of this, there's most of the kids that come on these trips have never been fishing, let alone a lot of them have never been on a boat, right. So, every it's all new to them and so stimulating, it's really cool. And then a tip from like a therapist, there's with your autistic kids, they can tend to have primarily your lower function autistic kids, they can get sensory overload, and they have to do like self-reflection. It's called. The bait tank is the best tool in the world. Okay. Yep. We get them up to the bait tank and they're just mesmerized with all these little fish in the little compartments. And it's such a great tool,
Yeah, just trying to catch one of those little baits is hard.
Yep. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, the whole thing matters like you can't even believe. And Donna, coming from where you're coming from, you understand that so well. It's so good that you're a part of this thing and you're touching on every cylinder that needs to be touched on. Because Donna, let's be honest, you started the kids club down there in Dana Wharf a long time ago. And then you've been giving back to those kids for so long. And then when Jim came to you with this, oh my God, I'm sure your heart just opened and you were like, oh my gosh, let's be honest. Our dad taught us it's all about kids. We already got the disease. We already own it. We're going fishing. It doesn't matter. But if you can turn these kids and then showing their parents that this is a safe place and you can actually come back another time and bring your child out on the boat and understand that the crew at Dana Wharf understands the special needs children. They understand the wheelchair. They understand all that. We're never going to put your children in a position where it's not going to be safe on our boats. That's just not how our dad taught us to run the operation down there at Dana Wharf. And I know, Jim, when you had this vision, I know that the first person that popped in your head was my father because he made it a
first person
place.
I went to. No.
It's a different world fishing on the Dana Wharf boats. If you haven't been there, it's a different world. I'm not taking away anything from any other landing. I have plenty of good friends that own landings, but it's a different place.
And to that point too, Dave, I mean, this crew aboard this, Captain Tommy is just phenomenal. He's all in for this. And it's obvious. He's just such a great guy. But the crew, the crew that they provide for these trips are just fabulous. I mean, they're very skilled at what they do and help, with getting the fish off and the hook, retying hooks and all that. But I mean, they're very compassionate people. I love that because it's a key ingredient to our success.
Absolutely. And my dad taught us when we were little. I mean, every deckhand and every captain that worked for my father over their lifetime, we all learned. And we used to have to tell the passengers, we have to take your fish off. People go, I got it. And we go, no, because my dad ran the boats when I worked. And if my dad saw you taking your fish off, we were in big trouble. My dad taught us service like nobody's business. And so the whole operation down there is just a different animal, gang. That's why I think it's so important to have you and Donna on here today talking about this, is because this can expand anywhere. but it has to be the right fit. You have to go and you have to talk with Jim, and you have to make sure, give Donna a call. She knows all the landing owners. She knows everybody. Just make sure it's the right fit. You have the right people in place, because whatever we do, it's going to matter. It's going to matter like crazy. And we have to reinforce the fact that this is a safe place to take these very special children that are very special on the planet. And we understand that, but we need to make sure that their parents understand this is a safe place for their children to come and open up their minds and broaden their, because it does change their lives dramatically, the family.
No, I'll
right?
tell you what, and we'll see. I mean, autism, for example, when I first started out, it was like 1 in every 80 to 100 kids were being born with autism. The last statistic I heard from a therapist was it was in 1 in every 35 kids being born with autism. So with that said, I mean, the need for these types of programs is only going to expand. And then also too, I'm intrigued by the minds of these autistic kids. As you know, they're not necessarily, they're developing socially, but their minds are brilliant, just absolutely brilliant. You can channel their thoughts in the right direction, and who knows, through an experience like this, they'll develop a passion for fishing or any element of what it is we're doing. We could look at, they could be the superstar marine biologists of next year, or scientists that come up with some really cool things, So yeah, it's really neat.
It's an incredible organization. Jim, I'm so glad that you were able to put this together. Now, I had a couple of questions come through my phone because my phone number is everywhere. Somebody asked me, what does it cost for a family to take their child on this
It doesn't
trip?
cost anything.
$0. Zero.
Yeah, zero. I mean, that's our model too. We want to make this at no cost to anyone. That's why, hey, the fundraising is so key. The Wharf, like Donna, she's sponsoring this next trip, which is a huge blessing. But no, we it's all about fundraising, coming up with some big dollars to be able to pay for the charters, all the costs.
I do think that came up on the last trip, and I think it's important to tell people, like, these trips aren't free. Jim fundraises. He pays the landings for the trips. We do donate a trip a year. We donate the rods and reels, of course. But his model is to fundraise and pay the landings because he does them on the weekends. And so from day one, he recognized that you can't go to the landings and ask for free trips. We can't afford to do that. So that's why fundraising is very important. In Jim's fundraising efforts, it's all private donors, and he does have a lot of them, but he needs more.
Yeah, and back to what I was saying, I can't tell you enough, gang. You don't know who in your sphere of influence on your social media platform. You all have 5,000 friends. You got 5,000 friends. You share this. You have no idea. It's like a spider web that's going to just explode out there on social media, and people that you had no idea that you touched because you hit the share button. They're going to be calling Jim Holden, and they're going to be saying, "Hey, I saw you on some Booger Eaters podcast, and I just want to get." That's what I call them. Me, I'm a booger eater. I can call myself anything I want.
And it's exciting to think too. I mean, we're approaching 3,000 kids and their families, that we've served over the past 14 years. Next year, we'll be into our 15th years. And it's just exciting as to, hey, we can duplicate our effort in other locations. It's just exciting to think in the years to come, just how many lives we can touch,
Right.
Absolutely. It's a good thing. It's a phenomenal thing. There is no downside.
You bet. And to inspire others too. Okay. If fishing's not your thing, get out there and serve. Get something going. Put some good out in the world.
Okay, did you see that? Any recommendations for parking on Sunday?
If you're just coming for the opening ceremonies, you don't have to worry about it. There's plenty of parking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plenty of parking. And for the families and volunteers and everybody that goes on the boat too, the Dana Wharf provide free fishing passes. So even the guests, they don't have to worry about anything. All they have to bring is a cooler in case they catch dinner to take it home at night.
Yeah.
And your love. Bring your
There you
love.
go.
Don't leave your love at home. And one last time, gang, none of this happens without you, your donations. It's so important. This is just a really good organization to give back. Elliot will throw the QR code up there one more time so you can get a hold of Jim if you have anything that any questions. I mean, we could take questions for the next 2 hours, but Donna's very busy and so is Jim. And I promised them both this would only take an hour. We already burned through the hour. So if there's one more thing you want to say, Jim, and then we'll hit Donna and then we'll wrap this thing up. One more thing you want to say to everybody that's listening out there. This is your big
Oh, you bet. I would just say, hey, and not to pound on fundraising, but hey, any contributions are appreciated at whatever level. And if you're involved with a foundation or a company that you know would see the value in this, we'd love to apply for a grant. And then if you want to volunteer, sign up, and we will get you on a trip, as well as your child. You're watching this, you have a special needs child, a family member or a friend, make them aware of this and have them sign up, and we'll get them on a trip.
Perfect. Donna, what do you got? You got anything to add to this before we
I
wrap
would
it
just
up?
say that we're wrapping up a wonderful year of Fish for Life trips. Our last trip in Dana Point is this Sunday, and then Jim has one more in San Diego. Jim, that's the 19th of November?
Yep. November 19th at a
Okay.
Fisherman's Landing on the Dolphin.
Great. So,
And
and
then-
anybody that wants to call me or email me, wants more information to talk to me, they can do that. I'm happy to help. And then, just be involved. And if you can't come this year, come next year.
Perfect. And you can get a hold of Donna at Dana Wharf Sport Fishing at 949-496-5794. And also, gang, I just want to make sure that you understand CCA California is a super important thing because listen, they're on a mission in the state of California to shut down fishing. That's what they want more than anything. So organizations like Fish for Life will not exist. Donna's Kids Club on Sundays will not exist, which are just two tragedies that will be just part of this closing fishing thing. It doesn't make any sense. We have 0.0 impact on fish by fishing with a fishing pole. I want you all to understand that's another super valuable organization in the state of California that's trying to keep fishing open. Can you imagine if this didn't happen because they closed fishing? Because the last thing they want to do is have us go out and catch fish. And look at how it changes people's lives. That's what I want to leave everybody with at the end of this is it is important to keep fishing open, gang, because we're not out there harvesting the sea and we're not out there taking massive amounts of fish. But when a child catches their first fish, it's a life-changing event. That's what did it for me. That's what did it for Donna. That's what did it for Jim Holden. Elliot, he can attest to it. He got to catch his first fish last month with me. It's a life-changing event, and it will change your life, and it's changed these children's life. Let's not let them close fishing, and nobody works harder on it than Donna right there. She's, oh my gosh, you guys don't know, that's my sister, Donna. She works her butt off to make sure that fishing stays open in California and also all the other states in the United States. They are after everybody.
I talk about that a lot. I talk about if we are not able to fish and we keep facing closures, it's death by 1,000 cuts, right? Then we can't do the trips that we're so passionate about. We can't do the Fish for Life trips. We can't, we have to fish. So please join CCA. They're doing a great job. I'm also on the board of that. So Dave is exactly right. And Jim's with me on this. Like Fish and Wildlife comes out with us. They're on these trips. We had Jordan from the Fish and Wildlife. She was just out on the last trip. She absolutely loved it. She was a team leader. We've had Dr. Craig Schumann out with us. They love these trips. And we really need to keep fishing open and access to all fisheries. So thank you so much, and join CCA.
Absolutely. And it's just mind-boggling to me. Anybody that wants to close this down, I mean, this is part of our culture, and shame on them. And boy, anything we can all do collectively to help stop any of that from happening, jump in.
Thank you.
Right. Absolutely. I talk about this on my show every day. Those of you that have never seen my show before, we do this Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And we're constantly talking with people in the industry about how important it is to keep fishing open. If this didn't touch your heart and you don't understand how important it is to keep fishing open, well, then I don't know, maybe you don't have a heart, because when you watch those children's faces and you see the life-changing event that happened in those families just because they caught that one fish. I mean, if you could harness Jackie in that video and post it every time that people up there in Sacramento want to close fishing, and you showed them that video, maybe that would help open. I don't know what it's going to take, but we're going to wrap this show up real quick. There's a lot of people out there that are very concerned about what's going on down here in Cabo San Lucas, and I'm going to be off the show tomorrow. We're going to try to do it at 12 o'clock. I don't know if we'll be able to, gang. I have no idea what's going to happen to the infrastructure down here. It looks like right now, Elliot, maybe you can throw that picture up. This hurricane's going to park right on top of Cabo San Lucas starting tonight at about, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's going to hit here, and it's going to hang out, and it doesn't want to leave for 2 days. They're calling for 15 to 20 inches of rain. Some forecast. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to do our very best. Kelly and I are super prepared. This is a big one. This is a real one. And right now, everything shows it coming right here to our house. So hopefully tomorrow we can go live. We're going to try to go live on the show with Pete Gray tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup. And then I'll try to do my live show at 12 o'clock. If we have power and we have internet service, we will keep you as live as we can. But that's what that's Saturday right there. That's my house right in the middle of that. We'll see what's going to happen, gang. We're in for a big one. So we'll see what happens, gang. Thank you for all the love. Thanks for this show. Jim, Donna, Elliot, thank you so much. I hope we touched a bunch of people's lives today, and everybody reaches out to you guys. Thank you so much for being on the show, and maybe we can revisit this and come back next year and do it again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Kelly.
Dave.
I don't know where Kelly is, but love you, Kelly.
She's so worried downstairs about the cats. She's just so worried.
Stay safe.
That's right.
Well, thanks, Dave, and thanks,
All right.
Donna, and thanks, Elliot.
Thanks, Elliot.
Have a great day.
All right, everybody.
Bye,
We love you.
Dave.
See you
ya.
later.